First stop on our tour is the White House. The reason the White House is white is because of the War of 1812. The British invaded and burned down 14 buildings, including the White House. And to paint over the burn marks, the people painted it white. George Washington was the only president that did not live in the White House. The White House has guards patrolling all night, all day, the top of the White House with snipers and other arms, protecting the president at all times and keeping him safe to make sure our country runs well.
Our second stop of the day was the International Spy Museum. It was so interesting to see how spies hide in plain sight, like changing their appearance or hiding in cars and boxes. I was so fascinated by how historic spies evolutionized now what we use today. So interesting, and a place to where you can just explore imagination as far as the eye can see. Not only does the Spy Museum do spies, but it also gave a 50th anniversary to James Bond.
Our next stop on our tour was Ford's Theater. Ford's Theater is a very symbolic and meaningful place to the people of Washington, D.C. because this is where our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, was assassinated in the presidency. John Wilkes Booth snuck up right behind George Washington and shot him behind the right ear. It did not kill him at first. And while we were there, we learned about John Wilkes Booth and how he got up there. He was a famous actor from Ford's Theater.
After Ford's Theater, we went to the Peterson House. It was very, very, very interesting to see where Martha waited for her husband Lincoln, just rest in peace, as she spent long hours there waiting for him to just close his eyes and rest for a minute. Not only did Martha rest there, but her sons and Abraham Lincoln's sons all waited there for him to finally pass.
The next stop on our tour is the Holocaust Memorial. It is a very dark and passionate and very cruel feeling to it. The Nazis were very evil, and I think Hitler was one of the main causes of all this evilness. The Jews were captured and they were tortured in gas chambers, straightforward brutality, or just shootings.
Next on our tour was World War II Memorial. It was so beautiful and such a touching place, not because of all of the death that had been brought by the Second World War, but by the beauty of what it looked like, what happened after it, and how peace can totally change a world. It was so amazing to finally witness what the people have gone through to make, and this is what they were looking for. They were looking for peace in the world.
The next stop on our tour is the Korean War Memorial. It was a very touching memorial, and it was very interesting because no matter where you went in the memorial, there was always a soldier looking at you, and all the faces of the soldiers were trembled like they were about to be invaded at any moment or at any second. So they were all looking very mysterious. And while we were there, we all learned about how they were made. They were made out of stone casts.
Next, we went to the Lincoln Memorial. I love this memorial especially because Lincoln is my favorite president. When we first look at Lincoln, if you look to the left, you can see the Gettysburg Address. It was so touching to read it in person. And not only that, but on the right side was another soldier of his. But when you walk outside and look out into the direction, like you can look outside and see the massive empire that these buildings were built. Because that's what Lincoln is. He's amazing.
The last step of our day, we went to the Vietnam Memorial. The Vietnam Memorial is very touching, and all the names on the list looks like they were naming the population in Washington, D.C. There were a couple statues there that were very meaningful. The Vietnam Memorial had a very mystic feeling around it, like you never know what happened to those soldiers or how they got killed. Like, there were so many of them. They all were important in someone's heart, and most of the soldiers were African American.